to What's Cookin'. I'm Norma.
I'm Deb, and today we're doing a Valentine's Day super easy, delicious dishes for you to try.
So we are going to have appetizers, a main course, and a dessert, and a special drink. But Deb, why don't you start off and talk about your appetizer?
Okay,
Ooh.
so first off, we're making what's called a crab pot. It's pretty easy. Now, because it's Valentine's Day, these were my mom's, and they're little heart-shaped ramekins, but you can put it into like a small container, and I'll show you how to make it. But it's delicious crab. It's important to get good crab. I actually go to Costco and I buy mine there, but if there's a local fish place near you that you can get really good crab, it's really important. The fresher the ingredients, the better off you are. But this has been a really good brand, and it's delicious. So let's get started.
Yes.
So we first start off with our crab, and I'm going to put in about 3/4 a cup. This is a cup container, and you can see how nice this crab is, and you can sort of use your hands and just put it in here to your mixing
All I can
bowl.
do not to put in my mouth.
I know. So we'll move this all
Yeah,
aside.
move it away.
Okay. Then this is what a shallot looks like. And so what we've done is we've chopped it up, and we're going to put this into our crab mix.
So is that one whole shallot or half
It's a whole shallot finely chopped.
Finely chopped. Okay.
And then these are chives, and they look like this. And so I just took a little bit, about a teaspoonful, roughly,
Tablespoon.
and you put that in. Next, you mix in 3 tablespoons. Now, I and Norma both have a pretty good judge of how things look. So here's like 1 teaspoon, 2 teaspoons, 3 teaspoons. Okay? And with that, Norma's Valentine Day,
Gotta stay in the season.
yes, mixing spatula.
Okay, so you're mixing it all
So
together.
I mix it all in. Then we're going to add my favorite porterhouse seasoning. Should be doing a commercial for them.
But any kind of seasoning.
Any type of seasoning, just a little salt, pepper if you like to do that. And it just adds to the flavor.
Mm-hmm.
And as you can see, it's super easy to put together. The next thing is we need the rind of an orange. So favorite tool. And
so you're gonna zest it?
I'm gonna zest it. And so you just want the first part of the orange. You see how it's on here? And you put it in.
So you want to be careful not to get the white part, the pit.
Yeah, because that is bitter.
Bitter, yeah.
And this just gives it a nice flavor. Then we mix again, like so. And then the orange is in there, and it's pretty and adds a nice flavor.
It's really important to always taste.
Salt.
Always taste your food. I know some people don't, and you even watch on those food competition shows, they forget to taste their food, and it never fails. It doesn't have enough salt or pepper.
Right. So now we're going to put it into the ramekin, like so, and you mush it down. See how easy, and you can make this ahead of time, and it's a lovely appetizer. Okay, so it's just like this. Pop that in there, thank you. And then, let me use the spoon again, please. And then I'm just gonna press this down so it's flat in here. You can even use your fingers. And it's really pretty. I thought at one point that I would try to take it out of this, but I think it's a nice container to scoop and do that with. So I'm done with that. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is I need a little pan, and we're going to melt about 2 teaspoons of butter. Actually, yeah, about that much. So, as you see. And then we're going to melt it, and when I bring it back, I will show you. Then we're going to put in the smoked paprika, and then we're going to pour that over this.
Yeah.
So you just want it liquefied. You don't want to bubble it. You don't want to do any of that. And you know what? You can even do this in the microwave, probably for about 15 seconds, 20 seconds till your butter melts. But you want this all melted. Into this mixture, you're going to put, we're going to start off with about a teaspoon of smoked paprika. And it's just a nice topping on the crab.
What I like too, it has that reddish color. Yeah.
And then we're just going to, if you don't want to use a spoon, you can just sort of let it go in like so.
Swirl it around in there.
I'm just going to help you a little bit here. There we go. And we can cover this, and it's going to go into the refrigerator for, that's why I like to make this ahead of time. You can do it the night before, but if you're doing it sort of last minute, probably 20 minutes or so until this solidifies, and then you're ready to go. And then the last thing that we need to do is you either get sourdough or baguette, and then we're just going to slice it so we have a few slices to eat this with. And when you cut, again, you cut at an angle that gives it a nice long look at the bread. And you can either butter this if you want to, or you can leave it plain. Hope you've enjoyed seeing this demonstration, and hope you give it a try and you like it.
Stay with us. You'll see what the end product looks like and what it tastes like.
Yes, can't wait. Welcome back. So now we're going to make crab cakes, and we're adding a little twist. So instead of using relish, came up with the idea of using an apple. So you can use a red apple, you can use a green apple, and Norma found these adorable little heart-shaped cookie cutters.
So cute.
And so we made little apples to go on top of the crab cake. So let's get started. So this is a very easy recipe. So the first thing you do is you take I whisked 1 egg, and so I'm gonna put it in here. Sort of like put in all the ingredients. Then we have green onion. I'm gonna put that all in.
Now this recipe, if you're from New England, I know you're going, what? This recipe is very different. It's unique, but it's gonna be fun.
Yes.
So let's try it.
Yes.
Let's try it.
So 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire. 1, 2.
I love that flavor.
We like to eyeball things. And then this is Dijon mustard. So you can, it's not like super spicy, but I do like the coarse ground because I think it adds a little more flavor.
I think that's a great
and
idea.
again, this is the
2 tablespoons.
2 tablespoons, thank you. So again, we're eyeballing. So here's 1, here's 2.
2. Perfect.
Okay. Then we add a little bit of porterhouse seasoning, which I love. And so about 1/2 teaspoon. We don't want it too salty. There we go. Now, you can use parsley in a jar, but I have fresh chopped up parsley, which I always think tastes better.
So it doesn't have to be flat leaf, it can be the curly.
Right, right. So we're gonna whisk this all together like so, and you can see how it looks. And it's mixed up pretty nicely. Then we're going to add, I grated.
And let's not forget the mayo.
Oh yeah, put the mayo in, thank you. Here.
It takes 2 of us.
Yes,
That's why we're partners.
yes. Because if one forgets it, the other one
The
forgets
other
it.
one's there.
Or
right?
sometimes we both forget it.
yeah, we've done that too.
Yeah.
Okay.
So whisk, whisk, whisk. And the mayonnaise adds such a nice velvety texture to it all. So again, you can see what it looks like.
Oh, you can smell the Worcestershire in that too. It's so
It just, oh, it smells really good. Then we're going to take, so this is what's called a box grater. And I cut an apple in half. We obviously peeled it. And then we made some slices, which I'll show you what to do with in a few minutes. But the recipe originally called for relish. And I really don't like relish. I know a lot of people do. My husband loves it, but I don't.
I love it.
So anyway, I thought, what about an apple? And it adds a sweet texture and it changes the flavor a little bit. So we just,
And you Bostonians, this is the part where I said it was different.
yeah, well, it's
But
a new
you know,
way.
Yeah. Don't knock it till you try it.
Right. And we're gonna put in the whole thing like so. And then you mix it all up. And the important thing too is to have really good crab.
Yeah, lump crab.
Lump crab. I know people can buy it in the can and whatever, but if you can get fresh crab, it really makes a difference in what you're doing. And we're just gonna take little scoops, so like a spoon-sized scoop, and we're going to put it into, this is panko. So I'm gonna dip it in the panko and then flip it over like so.
And you're making appetizer portions.
Right, you can make this as a main dish and make it bigger if you want. So just little scoop sizes like so. Oil. So I'm going to spray this. And then we're going to put on each one of our little crab. And see how nicely they stay together now? Let's put this over. Instead of reaching. But you can spray a little bit more on this on top, just like so. Now the other thing that I do, I know all you Bostonians are like, what the heck is this California gal doing? But I'm doing a little bit of cinnamon and sugar on the apple. And then we're going to cook the apple. So I'm just mixing this all together. And it adds a really nice flavor, sort of that sweetness, different than the relish, but it's good. So in a few moments I'm going to pop that in and we could cook them sort of all at the same time in my spatula.
There you go.
Oops. So we'll just move these over a little bit.
Now I was talking with Deb about this. So we are frying them up to get them crispy, etc. You can do this in your oven.
See how nicely it looks?
And spray the same thing, top and bottom of the crab cakes when you stick them in the oven, and you'll achieve a similar look.
And it's about 20 minutes. Then you can plate it with the apple sort of like this on there. Put a couple apple slices. And it's really quite tasty. So
There we go.
There you go.
Bon appetit.
Yep.
Yum.
Can't wait.
All right, stay tuned for our next segment.
What are you making, Norma?
Well, I am going to be making a scallop and cream corn with bacon.
Yum.
Ooh, and then asparagus for the side. So I'm going to start off because this dish goes pretty fast.
It does.
It does. It goes pretty fast. So I've already got the asparagus here, as you can see. Cut them up.
She cut off the tips. And
yeah.
My daughter Elena loves the tip part and not the top part.
I don't know anybody who does. But yeah, I cut off the bottom portion. You can, if you have time, with a peeler, peel it and make it look really pretty. But, you know, is what it is. I've got some salt on here, Himalayan salt, and some
yummy,
and some butter, olive oil. And so I'm going to stick this in my little easy bake oven right now while we get the rest of this going.
And how long does that cook?
Probably about 10 minutes or so, so we'll
Okay.
need to check it just to make sure. All right, so to this recipe, you will see we've got half and half, so a half of a cup of half and half. If you don't have half and half, you can use milk, and you're going to use cornstarch as a thickener. So you use about 3/4 of a cup milk to about a tablespoon of cornstarch, thick it up, and you can use that. Here's 2 tablespoons of butter. We have chives here that I've already cut up. We are going to use shallots. Here you go. Here is what a shallot looks like, for those of you not familiar.
Now shallots come in different sizes. So about how many teaspoons or tablespoons?
This is about
looks like 3 teaspoons, tablespoons.
Yeah, 2 teaspoons plus there was a little bit, and so I just used a little bit because I don't like to toss. But yeah, and so shallots are good to use. It imparts a great flavor, similar to the garlic family and onion family. It's in between. It's a garlic and an onion came together and this is what they gave birth to.
But it does make your eyes water.
A little bit, but I love shallots.
Yeah. Me too.
Okay, and then, as I mentioned, salt, and then we have corn. So this recipe truly calls for that we're posting to use fresh corn on the cob, but it's not the season right now, and I have found frozen corn works fine. It works just as good, and it's less work than using the fresh corn because you got to get the milk off the cob and blah, blah, blah.
Right.
That's good, but it's a little bit of work. I've got the scallops here, and you can see they are resting on a paper towel. Earlier I put them out, and that's because you don't want them moist. You want them completely defrosted and just lightly press on it so that the moisture has come out of the sides and whatnot, because if you don't allow the moisture to somehow come out, you will not get that crispy look that you want on your scallops. Okay, and then to this you're going to add about 2 or 3 pieces of bacon. So usually when I make this for more people, I've added a little bit more bacon, obviously more scallops, but this is a dish that we are going to do just to present for one person. That's why it's only 5 scallops. If you find scallops are too expensive, guess what? You can buy shrimp. And shrimp's really cheap right now. I saw extra large shrimp, $7.99 a pound. So you can use shrimp. I've made this also with sea bass. And you know, it's whatever you have access to. And
again, I think the key is having it fresh as you can. So a lot of times these are frozen or fresh. They're been thawed out, but a local fish market might have them fresh, or sometimes your local grocery store will have them.
Or they'll have it fresh frozen, which is fine.
Right.
So one of the things that I like to do is use kitchen shears, and because when the bacon is like this, it's hard to cut it. And yes, you can crisp it up and then use your fingers to break it up. But with this, I'm going to show you how easy it is. Look at this. You easily cut the bacon. And the shears can also be used for poultry, cutting the fat off your poultry, etc. So you want it roughly to look about this size. Okay? So for the sake of time, we'll go over to the skillet, and I've already browned some bacon for us. Okay, and there it is. So I'm going to take the bacon out. Okay, it's nice and crispy. You can hear it. Okay. Oh, you know what? I'm just going to do it this way. And this represents 3 pieces of bacon. And then what you're supposed to do is drain out the bacon fat so that you only leave in about 2 tablespoons. Well, the bacon was pretty lean, so there's about 2 tablespoons in this already, so there's no need to drain it. And frankly speaking, I know it's bad for you, but bacon fat is so good. So good. So,
then do you want the...
here we go. So to this, you can see, here it is. So to this we're going to add, well, let me see, how much is it? That's about right. We're going to add 3 cups of corn. You could do it frozen or you could defrost it.
There you go.
Here we go. I, again, for the sake of time, have defrosted it because I've done this before and I found, guess what, it works just as well. So here we go. This is 3 cups.
And how long do you cook it?
Until it's heated through.
Okay, so like a couple minutes.
Yeah. Okay. And I should have had the shallot.
Okay, here.
Okay. So while that is cooking, I'm going to add the shallot in here.
Do you want the chives?
No.
Okay.
Okay, we're good. So we'll let all of this cook up. You can do the chives. The chives will be last. You can do the shallot first and then put in the corn, which is probably what I should have done, but this is going to work out just as good.
And when do you want the salt?
So the salt is for the end. So I've got everything I need right now. Okay. So you can see it's cooking on down. Now if you're going to be doing this for company, let's say it's 4 people, I've used 6 cups of corn. Okay, so let's get that going. You can hear it sizzling, and it's coming together quite nicely. So what's going to happen, once this is ready, then we're going to do some magic of making it cream corn. So let's just give this a minute. Okay, to move this along, the recipe also calls for butter, but frankly speaking there was quite a bit of bacon fat in here, but maybe what I'll do is just add a little bit of butter, not the entire amount that the recipe calls for. Again, increasing the flavor. And I will save this butter for the scallops.
And then when do you want the cream?
Yeah, just let me see. How's this feeling? Okay. Okay. We are there.
Okay, and
Okay,
coming
so
behind
then-
you. And then we'll pour in the cream.
The cream. So again, the half and half is going to serve to thicken it. So don't be afraid to add more cream if needed. Again, as cooks, we have to look at it with our eyes to see how's this coming along. Okay. It's thickening, which is what we want.
So this is about 2 to 3 minutes to thicken.
Yeah, it's pretty fast.
Yeah.
So I'm going to turn this down. Okay. And next what we're going to do is we are going to take 1 cup of the corn, but before I do so, I'm going to add the salt. Deb doesn't like pepper, so there's no pepper going in this. Going to pulse it till it's very smooth. So here we go. Check it. Yeah, that looks pretty good. So this is what it looks like. Okay, so there it is. Now I'm going to add all this goodness back into the corn here that's been cooking, heating up. I want to get all of the goodness out. How's this look there?
Looking good.
You want to take a fork and try it and see if it's ready? Thank you, Deb. Okay. So now,
They're crunchy still.
okay,
I think if we turn this off, and while you're finishing up that,
Sure.
that should be done.
sure. So I'm adding a little bit of water. The recipe calls for 2 tablespoons of water to loosen it up. You can also add a little bit more, half and half. Okay. So, because I think, let me add it in here. Okay. I'm gonna just add it in here and get the little bit that's in there. Okay, so it's pretty darn thick.
And when you plate it, you don't want it to be real runny.
No, but I think a tad more, half and half, just a little bit more. So,
It gives it that creaminess.
yeah, and in fact, I'm going to do just a little bit more. Again, you know how it is when you cook, every time you make it, it comes out a little bit different. So just to make it a tad more creamier. Okay. Tastes good. Okay. Here we go. All right. So this is basically done. So we're going to let it sit while next we're going to work on the scallops.
And you could always add like parsley or something to perk it up just a little bit with some green or
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do with the chives.
yeah, it'll be pretty with that.
Yeah. Okay. All right. There we go. So now you have your corn relish. If you want it thinner, you could add more cream, but again, we don't want it too runny. So I'm gonna move this. Okay, now over here, we are going to get this going, and I believe, okay, I have a tablespoon of butter that I didn't use for the corn, so there's that. I am going to add a little bit of butter olive oil. Okay, put this back. Get that piping hot. Right over here you see the scallops. Scallops need, you can use Old Bay if you want to. If you like Old Bay, salt and pepper them. Okay, and these are going to go fast because they cook roughly 3 minutes each side.
And you don't want your fire to be too high because you don't want it to burn, you don't want your butter to burn.
Exactly. So the olive oil helps it prevent the burn. Okay. There have been times where I have dusted the scallops with flour as well.
Right, and it adds a little bit of crispiness.
Yes, but for today, we're keeping it simple for everybody, so we're just going to do it this way. Thank you, Deb. That's one. Yeah. So I'm going to put the timer on. Because I never trust how long it's been.
I'm going to move this over here so you can show how you plate it.
Okay. I have it on like a medium high heat, just to be careful. You don't want it too high. And I'm resisting the urge to turn them over. I have to wait. It's so hard, I want to turn it over.
Take a peek. Lift up one a little bit and see. You want them golden brown.
Yeah.
Do you want me to plate the corn while that's going?
Why don't we wait till it's ready so they can see how it fits into the whatchamacallit?
Okay.
Is the asparagus done?
Yeah.
Just pull that out then. This with the plating. And you can hear the timer. 3 minutes is up.
Perfect.
Okay. All right, so here we go. So you would do this another 2 to 3 minutes. And I am getting the butter on top of it. Scallops cook remarkably fast. You don't want to go more than 3 minutes each one. And these are large scallops. So if you use bay scallops, it's going to be faster than that. It's about one minute. And you're mixing it
Just
around.
make sure everything is ready on your plate because you don't want, you want to serve them hot, so you want to have everything ready to go.
Shrimp also cooks very fast too.
And you don't want to overcook that or it tastes like rubber.
So shrimp I normally do, again, very similar to scallops, about 2 to 3 minutes each side. And if you're not sure, take one shrimp, cut where the fat part of the body is, just a little bit, and taste it. And if it's done, it's done. Okay. It's coming along great. I'm going to turn the heat down, popping all over the place. And let's see. Yeah, it's done. Okay, this is done. Let me shut the timer off. Excuse me, Ruby. It has another 54 seconds to go, but again, it's 2 to 3 minutes, and you could tell by feeling if it pushes back, then it's done. So now we are going to plate.
So Norma found these really cute Valentine hearts. So we're going to put that in the middle. And we're going to fill up the heart.
And what I did was I sprayed the inside of the heart with ham so that hopefully it'll lift up easy.
Yeah. Because again, even though the food tastes good no matter how you do it, it's the presentation.
That's right. Look at that. Is that not beautiful?
Okay, so we're going to take 1 egg yolk mixed in with 2 tablespoons of baking sugar. And the difference of baking sugar versus regular sugar, think of regular salt versus kosher salt. It's a thinner, finer, you can sort of see it's very fine. And when you have that really pretty yellow flavor. Okay, then the mascarpone cheese. And we need 6 tablespoons of that.
So mascarpone is the Italian version of cream cheese, but lighter, and it has a sweetness to it that cream cheese doesn't.
Right. You can see it's very smooth and creamy.
Oh yeah, pale yellow.
And we're going to add, so good vanilla or vanilla paste is really good to use. I didn't have vanilla paste, but so I've used vanilla. And we're just going to use like a little, about a, not quite a full teaspoon. And we'll mix that in, and it adds to the flavor. Now what we're going to do, I'm going to trade spots with you. Okay. So this is, I made coffee earlier this morning. It's just plain black coffee. And of course, Kahlua. And these are the lady fingers. So what we're going to do is we'll dip them and then put them in here. But before I do that, Norma, if you wouldn't mind taking a little bit of this and filling the bottom of each of the ramekins.
Okay.
And you gotta act really, and I think these are really spongy lady fingers, and the spongier they are, the more they're gonna soak up the goodness of the coffee and the Kahlua.
Okay.
So as you see, I'm going to dip, and they just soak up like really quick. And I'm going to put these in, like so. And you just see how quickly it just soaks up all that goodness. So with this ramekin, I'm going to put 4 on the bottom.
Okay.
All right, and then I'm going to switch and go ahead and layer that again with the cream.
Now, some recipes call for adding heavy cream, and you made it without.
Yes, last time I made it without, and it tasted good. It was just fine.
I don't think it needs it.
No.
Save yourself some money. You don't
Yeah.
need to buy.
And a few calories.
Yeah, you don't need the heavy cream. Do you want more, or is it?
Well, we need enough for this one too.
Okay. Let's see.
I'm just going to pour a little bit of what's left over of that Kahlua and coffee. So this needs to go into the fridge for a couple hours. So again, I always say make things ahead of time so you're not doing them last minute. There we go. And then you take just a little bit of just cocoa, Hershey's cocoa, and I use a strainer to put about a teaspoonful. And then we're going to decorate it. So you lightly tap it. And looks pretty. Sometimes you see tiramisus and they're just covered. The whole thing is covered with the cocoa, but I think just a little bit so it looks like that.
Really
Now,
pretty.
I'm going to wrap these up and then we're going to move over to the cooktop and I'll show you how to make the honeycomb topping. 6 tablespoons of sugar and 2 tablespoons of the honey. We're going to melt this so it's like a creamy sauce. So as you see, as this melts, they call it sweating. The sugar will start to sweat. So it just takes a few minutes. Isn't that fun? That's your
Yeah.
honeycomb. So you whisk it, and then you pour it on here. And then in a few seconds, it will be dry. And then you put this over like that. And then it'll dry, and then you crack it. Okay, so here's the honeycomb, and we've taken it out of the fridge, and you see it's like, it's already hard. So you can crunch it. Super easy.
Oh, so many uses.
Yeah. And then you can put it into like a little bowl, and if you can crunch it up even more.
I use a rolling pin. You could even put this on top of ice cream.
Oh,
That'd
yeah.
be
Yeah,
really good.
yeah. Here, try a little bit.
Okay.
Isn't it good?
Mmm.
Okay, so now we're just gonna crunch this over the top, like so, and you're done.
While Deb's doing that, I have a funny story. It was my birthday, and all the family, we were at an Italian restaurant, and we had this huge tray of tiramisu. So they're singing happy birthday to me, and it's time to blow out the candles. They had so much powder. You know where I'm going. I go to blow the candles. I forgot who was sitting opposite me. It all came on them, the cocoa powder. I'm just saying. So
That's funny. So this goes into a little plastic baggie, and it's good for 30 days.
now to round out the evening, we have a Kir Royale cocktail. So Kir Royale is basically what you've got here: creme de cassis, which is a black currant liqueur,
Delicious.
and champagne. We like prosecco. This is super hard to find. I don't know what's going on. I looked all over Southern California. The only thing I can think of is Emily in Paris drinks Kir Royale, and everybody is buying it.
Became a popular dish.
Really, really a popular drink for everybody. So, so here we go. I'm gonna try and open this.
Whoa,
Whoa. Okay.
it was a very good year.
So it's one part, which is, they say, a third of an ounce of Kir Royale to 3 ounces of champagne. Well, that's not very much, I'm here to tell you. So I'm going to do 1 ounce of Kir Royale.
And then the rest champagne.
Yes. That does look like a lot. Okay.
Okay.
We'll see if it's too much.
And pour in the rest.
Hang on. So I'm going to, well, go ahead. Pour it out to back here. Okay, stop. Okay.
How beautiful.
And this one. I think I might have overdone it with the Kir Royale. I got so excited that I have it. Okay. And I'm going to, and if you're doing this at home for your loved one, you could put in blackberries, blueberries, a berry, strawberry, or no berries. So, you curious to try it? Here we go.
Cheers.
Cheers. Yeah, this looks really, really good.
And it's fairly easy to make, and you can make it ahead of time and just warm some of this stuff up. There's a few things that are last minute dishes, but for the most part you can make most of this ahead of time, and then you're ready to go.
Exactly, and if you don't have a Valentine, you do your own Valentine.
Do it with-
better yet.
Do
Love
Valen
yourself.
gals, Valen
Yeah.
men, whatever, Valen dog.
Exactly, exactly. All right, where do you
Okay.
want to start?
So first we made the crab pot. So this was the crab. I'll make it a little bit for you, and then we put the butter over the top. So I'll give you a little bit to try.
Okay.
And you warm up bread, and you could butter your bread if you wanted to, or just leave it just warm.
I saved the calories because there's butter on top, like that makes
That's
a big
true.
difference.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
oh, help me! I haven't had carbs in a long time. Here we
Cheers.
go. Cheers. Mmm.
good.
Mmm. That's really good.
And it doesn't taste like super buttery or.
Mm-mm. Not at all. That's
Okay.
really
That's
good.
later. Okay.
Yeah. I will finish it.
So will I.
Okay.
The next thing that we tried is our Valentine's Day crab cake. So I'm gonna give you this.
Thank you.
And then we made a little heart.
Oh,
You can see
yeah.
our little Valentine's Day heart. And you can
So cute.
use tartar sauce or whatever with the apple. So I'm just gonna dig in and try a little bit.
I have some lemon slices if we need it, but I
And you
want to
can
try it with just the apple.
Right. And you could put tartar sauce too.
Mmm.
It's just a little sweetness to it.
It's surprisingly, you're right. It's a little bit of sweetness from the apple, but not too much. But I like it.
Yeah.
It's very different from
Yeah, from
The-
your normal.
normal.
Yeah, and like I said, you can fry them up, you can bake them in your oven, and just have them ready to go.
Now we have the corn, the cream corn risotto, whatever you want to call it, with the bacon chives and the scallops. So I'm going to just put a drizzle of this. I did not make any sauce for the scallops. You could make a sauce out of lemon and orange, but
I think with your
It's-
risotto,
it's so rich
Yeah.
as it is.
so I'll take a little bit of that,
Okay,
and a little bit of this,
and there goes the heart.
and try a little piece of the asparagus.
I love vegetables.
I love everything, that's the problem.
Same here.
That's delicious.
Scallops were cooked just right.
Perfectly.
Here we go.
This is yummy.
I love that corn. That is so good.
It has a sweet texture, almost like a cornbread, and it's super good.
And then with the bacon.
Bacon adds that extra crunch.
Oh, this is winner chicken dinner.
Yeah,
I like how the viewers are watching us eat.
I know. Okay, so we can dig into one. We can share one.
Yes.
Okay, so this is the tiramisu, and dig in and get the-
It's so simple.
And do you see, like when I cut into it, so that's all the Kahlua and coffee and
Simple to make.
the crunch adds such a nice,
Oh my God, it's so
Flavor.
good.
so good and so easy. I was like
So
freaked out when I said, oh, I'm
good.
gonna make this. Super, you saw how fast and how easy.
I think it's better than restaurants. I really do.
Thank you. And it adds with that honey almond crunch. Or not almond, but the honey crunch, the honeycomb crunch.
So
Yeah.
good.
Okay, I have to have one more.
Okay, I have to have my drink. Well, to all of you out there, thank you for watching us. We appreciate it. We took a little sabbatical in December due to somebody got COVID. Not saying who, but I'm sorry.
I'm still avoiding it.
But we're back, and please continue to watch us. And here we go. Deb, to the best cooking partner.
Absolutely. And to all of you, enjoy Valentine's by yourself, with a friend, with a loved one, whoever. Just with your mom and dad. Enjoy.